So guys, I have one more thing to show you. I want to introduce you to my friend George. It's kind of cool. You might have met him before. Let me roll my sleeves up too. And I hope you like poetry because I wrote a really cool poem about my friend George. But before I do it, oh darn, in the water, dude. Anyway, we can still do this. Here, check it out. Hold it up to the light. Make sure it's a regular bill. No trap doors, no wires, mirrors, no chewing gum.
It looks normal.
It looks normal.
I'll take the word for it.
Take the word for it. So here's my poem, guys. Watch this. Let me see if I can remember it. A simple little mystery with an ordinary dollar bill. Try to watch this close. Some say this can't be real. At times you see the front and at times you see the back. My fingers will never leave my hands. Heck, even my thumbs remain intact. And as I make these little folds, I'll try to do it slow. For the magic to happen, all it takes is a snap and a blow. And as I open up this dollar, some would swear it's now a 10. But upon close examination, you see it's actually now a Benjamin. Not bad, right? Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's impossible, someone once shouted out. I don't believe in magic, they said, but that looks like magic without a doubt. So now you know. The closer you watch, the less you actually see. As I conclude this amazing dollar mystery, and as this plot once again unfolds, well, now it's quite obvious, you see. Guys, we're right back where we started from.
Oh, dude.
Just my friend George and me. Every single thing. Thank you very much, guys. My friend George, thank you. Hey guys, my name is Kevin Bethea. I want to welcome you here today. I am very, very excited to get to show you my favorite bill change called My Friend George. I love this bill change because you get to do it without a thumb tip and you can do it at any time, any notice. So let's get started and let's go over what we need for this trick. Okay guys, so here's what you'll need to do my switch, My Friend George. You're going to need two bills, of course. I prefer to use a $1 bill and a $100 bill because of my poem. It really matches with these bills here. By the way, the consistency of the bills, you don't want too flimsy. You don't want a really worn bill because of the kind of like folded. You want a bill that can stand kind of rigid as you're displaying it. So I'm not saying you need an absolutely new crisp bill, but you need something that will be kind of rigid when you hold it up for display. This way to make the moves a lot more easier. Also, a lot of times when I do this routine, I love to start clean. So I love to steal the extra bill that I'm going to be switching in various different ways. Number one of my favorites, I use the Danny Tong holdout. I keep that underneath all my suits and all my vests at all times. It's great for stealing and retrieving things. If you don't have a Danny Tong holdout, there's some other options you have. One is you can steal it from your wallet, like the old-fashioned Himber wallets. There's a little slot back there. You can always steal the bill from there. During a pinch, if I don't have this Danny Tong holdout, then I'll use a simple card case. You can fold the bill out. Fold it up rather and keep it right here, and as you're picking this up, as you're examining the dollar and you pick this up, you can steal it out as you put your cards away. And also you can always, and I'm kind of old school, you can always use this, which is just as great. You can use a simple paper clip and have that kind of pinned or you know, up under your vest or under your jacket. Keep it on the side, the bill will be there and you can easily steal it from there. So now that you know some of the options, let's go into the actual preparation of the bills on how to get started. Okay guys, let's go into how you prepare the bills for My Friend George to change. First, obviously, you need both bills. The one you're going to change it to, we're going to do the Mike Kozlowski bill fold with just a little change. So his fold was from the right and then down to the right again and then down. All right. Sometimes if you prefer to remember just away, everything is away from you, all the folds. So this is going to be folded away from me, and then the top is going to be folded away from me and down. Again, it's going to be away from me and then down, just like that. In his routine, he actually had the bill, he turned it over at the end so that the bill was facing downwards, like in a V position. I like to keep it downwards, so it's like in a tent position, just like that. So again, that's all the folds that you need, away from you to the right and down, to the right and down, and then I'll place this inside my Danny Tong holdout so it's ready to be stolen, and you can start cleaning your routine. So let's get started on how to get started into this routine. All right, guys, now let's go into the actual moves of my bill change, My Friend George. So what I normally start out with is I'll have my bill examined. I'll take it out my wallet, And I go, folks, I want to introduce you to my friend George. Check him out. Make sure he's real, he's solid. By the way, there's nothing up my sleeve, nothing in my hands. This is a real bill we're doing. I like to really let people see my hands are empty, and that it's just a normal bill in their eyes. As everyone's examining the bill, that's when I casually reach down and I steal the bill that was hidden in my holdout while they're examining it. As they return the bill, I'm now going to go through a series of moves that unequivocally show my hands are empty and there's nothing on either side of the bill, through a series of Ramsey gestures and things like that. So I'll gesture here, I'll gesture here, I'll come here. I'm handling the bill very lightly, yet it's in finger palm position, just like so. By the way, don't have it too heavily into a finger palm position. You don't want the bill to be curving in your hand. You want it kind of staying straight across. It'll make the moves much easier. So I've shown my hands empty. Now you want to show both sides of the bill. This side, and now I'm going to do a series what I call the bill stroke move. First I'm going to stroke the bill with my empty hand here. Then I'm going to come over and stroke the bill on this side with the bill now gone. And here's exactly what I'm doing for this change. What I'm doing is once I stroke here, I'll do it without the bill. Once I stroke the bill here, when I'm behind the bill, I'm bringing this up in this position to be clipped under my thumb behind the bill. Then I stroke this way. Now I'm showing this hand empty. So again, it looks something like this. Just imagine a bill is here. I stroke here. Here comes this one. This is behind the bill. It's grasped under the thumb as I stroke here. And it really shows your hands empty. So I'll show it to you with the bill now, regular speed, showing both sides. To your audience, it should just look like you're stroking the bill. Thus the bill stroke move. All right, now we want to fold the bill back down to go into the bill change. What I need to do is get this bill that's under my thumb over here back to the right side. So what I do is I pretend to start folding the bill in half. As I'm doing that, I'm working the bill back to the right side here. So once it's all the way onto the right side, on the lower portion, by the way, I now fold that in half. Now you're clean here. Now I'm going to fold this down and away. And the bill is right behind here right now. And now I'm going to bring it all the way to the right side of the bill, so now I can fold this over as well. All right? I'm going to line the bill up in the back on the upper half now alongside the edge there, and I'm going to flip it over as I close this bill here. So I'm going to squeeze that closed, and now I'm going to open the new bill like so. Very important when you do the change that you're showing clean edges at all times. Right now the bill is behind here, but it's sticking more into my hand. I'll show you. You see that? You don't want them to see that, obviously. So you're going to show the clean edge here. Now you're going to push with your thumb. You're going to slide that over to the right and grip it under your thumb there so they see that clean edge, and then you're going to reverse it again. Just slip it right back over. So your audience has seen clean edges every time. Now as you open this up, before you fully open it, you have to slide the bill over one more time. So now it's on the right side. Now I slide it to the middle, and I'm gripping the bill, the folded up bill behind. Now I open up, and now you're clean. Well, you're almost clean. They need to see the other side of this bill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this bill back into my lightly gripped finger palm position here as I'm turning the bill over. That looks like this. Let me do it again, I'm sorry. So from here, this comes over. You can now turn it, bill stroke move, and you're done. One more time, I'll show it to you from here. You're gripping it right here now, your thumb. Now you need to show both sides of the bill. Right now they're convinced your hands are empty. There's nothing in your palm. So now you got to show the other side of the bill. That's when you slide it into your right finger palm. This hand is empty as you show the bill stroke move. This hand is now empty, and you've completed an awesome bill change without using a thumb tip. And they have no idea that there's another bill involved if you've done all the moves right. So that's it. That's the execution of the bill change. And we'll go into other subtleties a little bit later on. Thank you. Okay, guys, just a quick recap again. By the way, don't forget the bill is in your finger palm position right now. It's back here. All right. You can see it right there. There you go. So I do a gesture, another gesture, Again, going through, kind of showing my hands empty, and now I go into my the series of my bill stroke moves. Some people like to stroke the bill like this instead of like this, so you have continuity, but it doesn't matter. I kind of like to come out with a clean hand. You're going to stroke here, and now you're going to come in from behind. You're going to push this bill up. It's going to be in this position, but it's hidden by the bill, and it's going to be clipped underneath your thumb as you stroke the bill back that way. Okay? So now you have it in that position. They've seen both your hands empty. All right? And oh, and by the way, let me back this up real quick. I apologize. Yeah. So, and you want to show both sides of the bill here too. So you want to turn it over a couple times before you go into the move. So it's here and then here, but you've shown both sides of the bill. Now we want to get this bill back to the right side, and you don't want to make it too obvious. When I first did this, I would grab the bill and just slide it right over, and then I would go into the fold. But they made it kind of obvious sometimes. So from here. What I want to do is I want to just slide it to the middle first, and I'm going to make it look like I'm folding the end. And then I fold it down a little bit more, and then I go into this position. Either way is fine, but I found it was less obvious when I did that. The bill is now in the lower half of the bill. You're going to fold forward and down. Okay, make sure it's in the middle so it's not sticking at the top or bottom. Now you want to bring it to the right so you can fold this over. And now I bring this back and I line it up to the top edge of this bill. Okay? Now, I'm going to fold this forward and bend that dollar there. Now we're in that V position with the switched bill. You want to open that up and down. And as I open this up, I'm going to slide this over to the right just slightly. Then I'm going to open up here. I'm going to slide this to about the middle and grip it with my thumb. Then I lift up, open up, grabs here. And now you've just changed a $1 bill into a $100 bill. Now, obviously, they're going to want to see the other side. So here's where you do a really cool move here. Before I turn this over, or while I'm turning it over, this slides right back into our friend the finger palm position. You're going to clip here and turn this over. I like to snap, turn it over, snap again, do my bill, stroke move again, and that's it. You've just changed a $1 bill into a $100 bill, showing your hands empty both times, all times, and that's pretty much it. That's how you execute my friend George, the bill change. Hope you guys liked it. Okay, guys, here it is, at regular speed for you. Okay, guys, let's talk about cleanup when you're done the routine. And I want to be totally honest with you. The venues that I perform this in, I don't worry about cleanup. And here's why. At the end of the routine, people are so amazed with the bill change that they're usually applauding at the end, the way I present it with the poem and all that kind of cool stuff. But I'll show you some options that you have that you might want to consider on using. So we've just done the switch. And you're in this position here, right? Typically, here's what I've done. After the change, you've shown your hand empty so many times. They've seen the bill on both sides so many times. This is your bill anyway. I typically take it and place it in my pocket. And I'm done. If they want to see the bill, I can always pull it back now, show it similar, but that's one option that I do to clean up if you really had to clean up. Another option is, again, you're here, you're holding out here with it. You've just changed it back. You've done your bill stroke move. You're clean. Another option would be to take the bill, drop it to the table, keeping this one in finger palm. As you go into your pocket, you grab your wallet. So you're here, you drop that down, you dump that as you grab your wallet, if you keep your wallet in the back, whatever, now you're clean and you can put the bill back away where you got it from initially. So that's another option for you too. A lot of times don't run if you're not being chased. So again, my typical ending for this routine, even if I've done it on stage, is once I've changed it back to the one, I'm in applause queue. They're applauding right now. I'm showing my appreciation as I place the bill away. That's pretty much it. That's all I've ever seen. I've never had anybody say, let me see that bill, because I've shown them the bill in the beginning. But if you're the type of performer that you always like to absolutely clean, there are some options that you can do from there. But from my point of view, I simply fold the bill up and enjoy the applause right now. Thank you. Okay, guys, some of you may be wondering this. You're probably wondering why I don't borrow a bill when I do my bill change. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. You can borrow the bill if you want, and I've borrowed the bill before. But here's what happened. I think the bill change is such a magical thing to witness, that when you borrow somebody's dollar and you turn it to 100, it's one of the most amazing points in the effect. They love it, but here's the negative. When you have to change it back to the one, it's like all the wind has been taken out of your sails, or they busted that balloon with a pen, and here's why. They're very disappointed now. I'm sure those that you do the bill change have heard this before. They're disappointed now that you have to give them back that $100 bill you just changed your bill into back to a one. And you can physically see the disappointment, like, oh, I wish you could have kept it to 100, or dude, you should have kept it to 100. I think at that moment it's really stepping on the amazing effect that you've just done. So I eliminated that. I use my own bill now. And now I let them examine the bill. I make sure they examine it. But I still, it's still the great effect changing it into the 100. And at the end, I get a big round of applause versus negative statements like, we should have kept it, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I'll get, can I keep it to 100? So, very rarely, but in most cases, they're amazed. They've examined the bill. Your hand was empty, absolutely clean. You turn a one into a $100 bill. You turned it back, and that was it. Sometimes I do this routine if I'm using my own bill. Sometimes I'll just change it to the 100 and leave it at that and put it away. I can't do my poem when I do it that way, but that's why I do that. So that's why I use my own bill. I want to tell the poem that I have, the script that I have written out for this. It flows really nice, and but it's up to you. That's your choice. I personally use the poem with this. I use my own bill, and it works out great. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you. A simple little mystery with an ordinary dollar bill. Try to watch this close. Some say this can't be real. At times you'll see the front, and at times you'll see the back. My fingers will never leave my hands. Heck, even my thumbs remain intact. And as I make these little folds, I'll try to do it slow. For the magic to happen, all it takes is a snap and a blow. And as I open up this dollar, some would swear it's now a 10, but upon close examination, you see it's actually now a Benjamin. That's impossible, someone once shouted out. I don't believe in magic, they said, but that looks like magic without a doubt. So now you know. The closer you watch, the less you actually see. As I conclude this amazing dollar mystery. And as this plot once again unfolds, well, now it's quite obvious, you see. We're right back where we started from. Just my friend George and me. All right, guys, I'm going to tell you a really quick history on how and why I came up with a poem for this effect, and why I use it in a lot of times when I'm performing this. I found out that to take an effect and to get the maximum response from people, a lot of techniques to use are you can add music to your piece that you're performing, or you can add a poem. And I'll tell you a quick story. I was at a lecture one day, and I believe it was Gene Anderson. He had a booklet out called Tips for the Part-Time Pro. And at the end of his lecture, he did one more trick. And what he did is he took a match box, he lit a match, he put the match into his fist, he picked up the matchbox, he waved it over, and that lit match totally vanished. And I saw a room full of grown-ups stand up and starting applauding. I thought that was amazing. And the reason why he got the applause is he had a very, very cute little poem that went along with the effect. It took a simple lighting a match into your fist and having it vanish, it took a cool effect and made it go up exponentially. I wanted to get the same type of, I wanted to give the same type of feeling to people that saw my bill change. I wanted them to be totally amazed. So I came up with this cute little poem to go along with it. The way I talk and the way it flows may not flow for everybody else. You know, we all talk and speak differently, but it just flowed with me. It took me about a month to come up with the poem. To be honest with you, it just started flowing. I started going from my friend George, and the poem started coming along, and it flowed, and I talked to a couple of friends about it, let them listen until it came out to the final piece that you heard. So I added that, and I found something really cool happen. Whether I was strolling or whether I was performing on stage, people started applauding at the end of the routine. It was a perfect applause cue, and I knew I had gotten something there. So that's the reason why I wanted to use the poem. And last but not least, I'm a very old school type of performer. I still wear a tuxedo with a bow tie, believe it or not, when I perform, or I'll be dressed in a nice suit and a tie. I wanted to do a piece with a billfold in a formal setting that gave it that reason to applaud. So when I'm dressed up really sharp and I have all my formal wear on and I'm changing a $1 into a $100 bill, at the end of that poem, I get a big round of applause, and it made this a very classy trick. So that's the reason, that's the history of the poem. Again, it's up to you. Sometimes I don't use the poem. I just do the change depending on my environment. But when I have a chance to, I always try to use the My Friend George poem with this effect, and it's worked out for me really great. I hope you do too. Thanks. Okay, guys, I want to give you some options on how you can start out clean with this routine. To a lot of you, it might be really important to do that. I know in certain scenarios, it's important for me as well. So let me give you just a few things off the top of my head on how we can do it. Let's get started with the holdout type situation. I use the Danny Tong holdout, which I might have mentioned before, where this is actually just folded up and held in my holdout, all right? It's under my vest the entire time. You can do the same thing with a paper clip. You can pin this paper clip under your jacket and very easily stick that in the paper clip, all right? I'm showing you here because it's the same as the Danny Tong holdout. Here's how I steal it from the holdout. Once it's in there, as they're examining the bill, my hand naturally goes to the side. I just pull it out from underneath, and it goes right in the finger palm. You can do that, the same thing with the paper clip. As they're examining everything, you've convinced them that your hands are empty. You can just slide it right out into your finger palm, okay? Make sure the bill is facing the right way so that once it's delivered into your finger palm, it's already ready to go. So I'm thinking if it's here, the open part of the V should be facing away from your body to the back. That way when you come up to steal it, it slides down in your hand and you're ready to go. You're right there. So holdouts are great. They never see it coming. Another holdout, not a holdout, but you can keep it right here on the flap of your card case. You want to do a new trick, you hand that out. As you're cleaning up to put things away, you just steal the bill right out of there, which is very easy to do. Your thumb's just going to come there and slide it right into finger palm as you put this away. You're ready to go. There's another option. In a pinch, and I've done this before, let's say I have a close-up pad, you can have this underneath the close-up pad at the very end. So as they're examining everything, you can pick this up, you're kind of adjusting the pad, do whatever you want to do. I've stolen it out from there and I'm ready to go into the routine. So if you're doing more of a formal show with it up there. And last but not least, there's a million ways you can probably steal this bill. I mean, I just made something up. You can have it behind your ear probably. It doesn't, whatever. But here's another cool thing too. I have a wallet that has a slit there. You'll see these type of slits when you have like Himber wallets, I believe, as well. So I'll have that there. And as I remove this, as I'm removing this from the wallet, I steal the bill from the back and I slide it out together as I put this away. Now this goes into finger palm as they look at the bill. That's another way you can do this. I know what you're saying, Mr. Magician. What if we don't have a fancy dancy wallet like you have, right? But you can still do the same thing. The bill can be on the inside. This is on the outside, just sitting in your pocket. So when you grab it, just make sure you have it there in finger palm position, so it's already kind of sitting there. You can open the wallet up, slide this right out, and you're ready to rock and roll. So guys, those are just some examples. If you really want to start clean, there's a lot of options that you have. You know, I dress in vests a lot and jackets a lot, so I like having things pinned to me like this. I steal coins, everything from here. In a pinch, if I don't have this, I can always load it from a card case or whatever. In last resort, I can always just come out because people always, well, naturally keep their money in their wallets. I can have this hidden behind, even if it's just a plain wallet, open it up. Hey, have you heard about my friend George? Let them check it out, and you're ready to go. One other thing you might want to consider also, I just thought about this. You can also delay your steals, too. So in other words, you can take this out. You can come down, and your hands can be absolutely clean as they're examining everything, nothing up my sleeve. And as I say that, you pick this up, you put it away, and now you've stolen it, okay? So that would be probably my preferred method if I didn't have my holdouts. I would literally hold out onto the table here, all right? I'll take out my wallet, right? You can let them examine the bill. You can leave this here, and you can emphasize, look, there's nothing in my hands, nothing up my sleeves. They're examining the bill, and as you're having casual conversation, you can pick this up and put it away. It's very natural to do that, and you're ready to rock and roll. Guys, I hope this helped you out. Hope you enjoy my friend George. Here's some holdout and some steal ideas for you. I know you're going to have a lot of fun with it. Good luck. Okay, guys, just a couple more last-minute thoughts here. I'm sure they're pretty obvious, but I still want to make sure that you guys understand this. So two things. One is angles, and the other one is lighting, which you need to be aware of. So the first thing, which is pretty obvious, angles, especially if you always do a bill change already. The angles apply pretty much the same as if you had an actual thumb tip on. So the best way to perform this is with your audience out in front of you, obviously. You don't want anyone behind you, even if you had a thumb tip on, they'd see that. But if they didn't have a thumb tip on, they'll see the bill sliding back and forth. So you want them, I like to say, from 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock and forward, right to your sides. You don't want anybody behind you watching doing the bill switch. So that's it. Another thing, too, you want to be aware of is backlighting. You don't want them to see a shadow in between, because when you have a thumb tip on, they will assume that that's your thumb. But sometimes you'll see an extension of the bill going as I'm doing the loads and sliding back and forth. So you want to make sure that they can't see through it. So just be aware if you're in an area that has some backlighting to it, that might be the case too. Those are the things that you want to be cautious of. Make sure your angles are right, of course, and make sure there's no backlighting. And I know you guys are going to do a great job with it. Thank you. Okay, guys, just a couple quick credits. One, I learned the bill switch again from Mike Kozlowski's. He had a pamphlet that came out in the late 70s, I believe it was called the $100 Bill Switch. If you really like bill switches, there's a great book out by John Lovick. It's called Switch. There's some great switches in there. You're not going to see my handling in there, but there's a lot of other really cool bill switch moves in there as well that I think you guys are going to really enjoy also. And also, more importantly, I really want to thank you guys for purchasing this. I really appreciate that. I'm going to be honest with you. I know this is an old cliche, but I really didn't want to give up my handling for the bill switch. But I had shown it around so many times, and I had a lot of good responses from it that I thought I'd want to get it done. And I couldn't think of anyone better to do this for me than Penguin. So if you really liked it, I'd really love to hear your feedback. Go to their website, and if you can put a review on what you thought of the routine, I really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy performing this just as much as I did. Thank you very much. Good luck. Have fun with it.